For more than 60 million years, dinosaurs have existed only in fossils, museums, and the imagination of scientists. But what if that changed? What if, through a breakthrough in genetics, a forgotten species, larger, stronger, and far more dominant than any creature alive today, returned to Earth? This isn't a fantasy. It's a scenario scientists have warned about for years, reviving extinct life, without fully understanding what comes with it. If dinosaurs came back to life, the first impact wouldn't be roaring creatures running through cities. The first impact would be fear. Global, unstoppable fear. Governments would scramble to contain what they cannot control. Biologists would race to study creatures that have not walked the planet since the dawn of humanity. And the world would quickly realize these animals were not designed for our modern environment. And our modern environment was never designed for them. At first, the reappearance of dinosaurs might seem like the scientific achievement of the century, but the problems begin the moment the first creature takes a breath. Dinosaurs, especially the massive herbivores, require enormous amounts of food. Forests would be stripped bare, ecosystems would collapse, and competition with modern animals would push many species toward extinction. And then come the predators. Creatures like the Velociraptor, intelligent, coordinated, and faster than most humans, could reshape entire regions. A single pack could wipe out farms, livestock, and anything else in its path. Authorities would attempt containment zones, electric fences, and tracking chips, but none of those would matter once the larger predators arrive. A Tyrannosaurus rex doesn't follow rules, it doesn't stay in its habitat, and it certainly doesn't fear humans. Cities near natural reserves would be the first to feel the impact. One breach, one break in security, and an apex predator from another era would find itself in a world full of easy targets. Sirens would echo through the night, military units would be mobilized, and humanity would learn a harsh truth. We are not the top of the food chain anymore. But even if humans managed to survive the predators, nature would still face devastation. Dinosaurs lived in a different atmosphere, warmer, richer in oxygen, and more stable. Reintroducing them could trigger chain reactions scientists cannot predict. Diseases frozen in fossils for millions of years might adapt and spread. Unknown bacteria living inside these creatures could enter rivers and oceans. Entire ecosystems could collapse simply because Earth today is not the Earth dinosaurs evolved in. And then there is the moral question. If we bring them back, who is responsible for them? Do we treat dinosaurs as endangered animals, as scientific property, as monsters, or as victims of human curiosity? Zoos couldn't hold them. Nature reserves couldn't feed them, and countries couldn't agree on who controls them. Global conflict might rise not from war, but from competing attempts to weaponize or contain revived species. The world would be forced to choose between two impossible options: letting dinosaurs roam free and reshape the planet, or ending the lives of creatures we brought back from extinction. But the consequences wouldn't end there. Once the first dinosaur is revived, the floodgates of ambition open. Research teams around the world would try to recreate even older species, giant marine reptiles, flying predators with wingspans larger than airplanes, and creatures whose behavior is completely unknown. Imagine massive pterosaurs returning to the skies, competing with birds and aircraft alike, or enormous aquatic monsters rising from depths where no modern predator exists. Shipping routes, fishing industries, and coastal cities could be threatened by creatures that once ruled prehistoric oceans. Even the climate could shift. Dinosaurs breathe differently, move differently, hunt differently, and their presence could disrupt global temperatures, weather cycles, and atmospheric chemistry. One species revived might seem harmless, but hundreds could slowly reshape Earth into something unrecognizable. And then comes humanity's long-term challenge. How do we coexist with life from another time? Would we build entire regions dedicated to Jurassic wildlife? Would we attempt to train them for work, transportation, or military use? Or would humanity retreat into fortified cities, watching a new age of giants reclaim the wilderness? The psychological impact alone would be enormous. Children growing up in a world where dinosaurs roam forests, where news channels report prehistoric attacks, where humanity is no longer unquestionably dominant. Such a world would change human identity forever. And then there is the deeper question. If we possess the power to bring back ancient life, what stops us from rewriting evolution itself? Would scientists attempt to enhance dinosaurs, make them stronger, smarter, immune to modern threats? And if they did, would humanity be unleashing not just the past, but a future filled with engineered creatures beyond our control? So, what if dinosaurs came back to life? At first, it might feel like a miracle, a scientific triumph, a dream made real. But very quickly, that dream would turn into a world struggling to survive predators that do not belong here, ecosystems collapsing under creatures too large and too ancient, and a planet forced to confront life from a time when humans did not exist. In the end, bringing dinosaurs back wouldn't be a return of the past. It would be the beginning of a future we are not prepared for.